Hi guys, I'm Angelo from S2AS Sports, and this is the new 2020 Union from Hyperlite Wakeboards. The Union 2020 from Hyperlite. Okay, so they've done a few changes. Nothing major, but what they have changed is where they've clearly listened to the end user. The end users come back to Hyperlite and said, you know what, I love the board, but we don't like this and we don't like that. Union have definitely had a look at that and made those changes. Let me run you through some of the features of the Union 2020 right now. First up is the base, probably one of the most important features of a cable wakeboard. Now, everyone knows if you want a good cable wakeboard and you want it to last, you need a hard wearing base. So the Hyperlite Union base for 2020 is a sintered base, which makes it super robust and really, really good when you're hitting obstacles. It also makes it predictable, so it's not sticky. It doesn't change its angle, or it doesn't change its speed on the obstacles. So that makes it a lot more forgiving and easier to use on and off obstacles. So the sintered base, you can do lap after lap with no issues. You can really smash it up and it will actually be solid and hold out for the entire season for you. A new feature on the Union for 2020 is the sidewalls. Now, in 2019 and previous years, they used something called ABS. Now, ABS running through the sidewall is plastic. And what it is if you can imagine, if you hit plastic hard with a hammer, it's brittle, it'll shatter. You get hairline cracks in it, that gets water in, and then obviously once you get water in the wood core, you've got a huge problem and your board will eventually snap. So what they've done this year to improve that and make the Union even stronger is they use urethane. So urethane's the same material that skateboard wheels are made out of. So what it does is urethane's a really, really watertight material and really strong, and also flexes easier with the board. So that's a massive improvement for the Union for 2020, and that's a urethane sidewall all the way around 360 degrees of the board. Another feature of the Union for 2020 is something called Power Press. Now, Power Press it's almost like a hybrid rocker really, because they're running with continuous rockers, but then they have this Power Press on the tip and the toe. And basically what it is, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but this part here will continue, as in like a continuous rocker, and then here it exaggerates a little bit. And then basically what that does is it enables you to get a better press on the obstacle and exaggerate it. So not only do you get a more secure press on the way, but it's exaggerated, so it actually looks and feels a lot better as well. So you really lock into that press, literally from the start to the end of the obstacle. Also with the Union for 2020 is the concave tip and towel. And what this does, it really adds to the power press. So the power press makes it easy and exaggerated for you when you're on the obstacle. So it really gives you a good press, good feeling, and a good lock-in as well. So that makes it good to get on and off the obstacle from a press. But what the concave does in the tip and the tail, and I don't know if you can see that in the video, but there's a slight concave there. Basically what that does is if you've got any obstacles at your local park that are like pipe obstacles, this really helps. Again, like Power Press, it locks in but on the pipe type features, and it really gives you that secure lock-in and makes it super stable throughout the whole press. Also with a Hyperlite for 2020 is what you would get on a lot of boards, probably almost 90% of wakeboards out there, is the M6 insert. So being an M6 insert, it's nothing special, I get that. You just use them clearly to affix your binding to the board. But what the major thing with this is, and you must understand, is with these M6 inserts come a 6-inch spread. And this is really, really important in wakeboarding. So with older boards, and I'm talking about 7 years or older, we used to have something called an 8-inch spread. So the spread between the binding holes would be 8 inches. Now they're only 6 inches. So you've got to make sure if you're going to buy a board like this, you get an up-to-date binding that you're really going to get and feel the benefits out of this board and get the use out of. If you have an old 8-inch spread binding, you'll be able to get it on the board, but you won't have no adjustment whatsoever. You'll only have one area that you can fit it on, and it just won't work properly, if I'm honest. So just make sure you get a high-end binding if you're going to go for something like a high-end board like the Union. So the core, we talked about the base, we talked about how strong that has to be, obviously if you're riding cable because you're on enough obstacles all the time, but also taking into consideration the actual board itself, the core has to be strong. So with the Union, it's a full wood core, so throughout the whole board it's a full wood core. It's polonial wood as well, which is a high grade wood. It's also got very, very good memory, and that helps with the flex side of things. So obviously, albeit the Union's got good flex, which I'll talk about a little bit more later, but it also got good memory, which means it's snappy, so it really snaps back. So if you're into aerial tricks or you're gonna edge hard into a kicker, you know you're gonna have that stiffness in the belly and you're gonna get that memory. So as soon as you release, all that energy is gonna release into your trick, which in turn gives you loads of pop. Another new feature for 2020 in the Union from Hyperlite is the Beveled Edge. It's a fully beveled edge, and this, for me personally, is the best feature of this board. I love this. So basically what it is, I don't know if you can see that, but basically you can see, or I can from here anyway, just around the edges and on the tip and the tail, it's beveled. So it's really, really slight angle, and it's just beveled off slightly. And what that does, it makes it a lot easier to get on and off obstacles. If you run up to an obstacle and you don't ollie on correctly, you can really hit the side of your board into the obstacle and blow out the rail and damage your board, or even worse, hurt yourself. But beveled edges, it's slightly risen, and by slightly rising it, what it does, it makes it easy to get on and off. Now, we should all ollie on and ollie off for sure, but not everyone does that. And the beginners as well, when they're starting to learn to get on bigger obstacles, they struggle to ollie on. They've got enough to think about as it is on the approach. So that beveled edge makes a massive difference, makes it board a lot more forgiving on and off the obstacles. A massive feature for 2020. Channeling. How much grip does the Union offer when you're edging hard into like an air trick, or you're edging hard into an obstacle, or you just landed off an obstacle and you need to get across to the next one as soon as possible? That's where channeling comes in. So with the Union, you've got good channeling right through the belly, right where you need it. So the idea of it being through the belly is that's where you ride. Now with wakeboarding, obviously you ride the rail, not the fin, hence the cable boards don't have no fins. So by riding the rail through the belly of the board, you've got these two channels. Again, I'm not sure if you can see them, but they are there. So there's two deep channels there, and what they do is they just offer that bit extra grip. And now that extra grip will give you a harder tension on the line, great for pop and aerial tricks. Also help you to get from one obstacle to the other, especially if you're at a cable park where obstacles are quite tight on the left and right hand side. You've just done one and you want to get across to the other one as quickly as you can. That's going to help massively in the belly of the board. And then obviously on the tip and the tail, it's completely featureless, quite simply to make it more forgiving on the obstacles when you're doing your pressing. But yeah, good feature for 2020. What sizes does the Union in 2020 come in? Okay, so it comes in a 134, a 138, a 143 and a 147 for the bigger guy. So there's a range of sizes there to suit everyone. To round this up, so the Union 2020, amazing board. What level of rider will it suit? Intermediate to advanced. I could sell it to a beginner with no issue whatsoever. He would get on it and he would love it because of the flex pattern. It's a flex pattern of about 3. So it's really, really soft, it's good fun. So any level of rider could really get on it. But if you want to get the most out of the Union for 2020, I'd say intermediate. You've done your first year of cable wakeboarding already, all the way through to advanced. Channeling through the belly to offer that extra grip. Power press on the tip and the towel, which will give you a more exaggerated press. Concave on the tip and the towel, which help you for pipe obstacles as well. Full wood core as well. Beveled edge, my favourite, which is really good, helps you get on and off obstacles. And then for build quality and robust, it's the urethane sidewalls. So the sidewalls fully urethane, not the cheaper ABS materials. So that's the roundup for the 2020. So how much is it going to cost you? The Union from Hyperlite 2020 is £459 in the UK. That's a lot of board for the money, a lot of features. Obviously we've gone through all the features in the video. So yeah, I personally thought this would be around about 495, maybe 509. But super impressed to see Hyperlite bring it down to that price point. That would help a lot of people get on it this year. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Angelo from S2AS Sports. This is the Hyperlite Union for 2020. Please like the video. If you've got any comments, please add them below. We do monitor them, we will answer them as well. Remember to subscribe as well, because we do a lot of these videos and we'd love you to watch and comment on them as well. Any questions, you can give us a call in store. We've got a wakeboard shop in Poole in Dorset, or you can check us out online at S2AS.com. Thank you very much for watching.